Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today we are finally taking on actual proper multiplayer content. To begin with, we're going to speak to Nedrick Ironheart here in Vesper Bay over by the Waking Sands, and we're going to accept Hallo Halatali. Nedrick of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn has some useful information he wishes to share. Hail there, adventurer. I'm Nedrick Ironheart, an explorer by trade and a scion by allegiance. And you, my friend, look to me an adventurer in need of a challenge. I happen to know just the place that will offer it to you. Tucked away in a corner of eastern Thanalan lies Halatali, and it is there that you will find all the excitement you crave. The place boasts a storied history. It was built some 100 years past as a training ground for gladiators. The calamity laid ruin to it, though, as it did to most things. Now, Halatali is a shadow of its former self, but in the dark of that shadow lurk wild beasts, both bloodthirsty and beyond count. For one such as yourself, I dare say there is no place finer than Halatali to test your skill and refine your technique. Indeed, I've taken the liberty of passing your name along to the flames who oversee the place. Should you visit, speak with one Fafajoni near the entryway. Alright, Halatali is an optional dungeon. It is completely untied from the main story. There is no need to do it. It is just optional content that you can take care of if you want. But it's a fun dungeon. It's a good dungeon, and more importantly, it's a good source of experience at this point in the game. Because it is not main scenario content, because it is not part of the main story, and because it is optional, there is no option for duty support with this dungeon. There is no option for going in with a party of NPCs. You have to go in with other players and take it on an actual proper multiplayer. So, I figured today would be a great day to, for the first time, take on some actual proper multiplayer content. I'm going to go ahead and meet you over in East Thanalan. It's actually just south of Camp Drybone. And then we will be able to enter Halatali. Alright, arriving in Eastern Thanalan, coming just out of Central Thanalan. To the left is Camp Drybone. We're going to be heading to the right. I believe I've been over here before for a mining leave quest, but I've been doing those off screen so you haven't seen it. Yeah, just this little area just south of Camp Drybone, in this little canyon area. And Fafajoni and the entrance to Halatali are right over here. And the smith is here as well. If it is the halls of Halatali you seek, you need seek no further. Permit me to tell you something of this place. The name comes from an ancient tongue, Halatali meaning the land of many shadows. It was here that our distant ancestors first settled and... Bah, you have not come all this way for a lesson in history? Shh, listen, do you not hear the howls and the growls? Do you not feel how they shake the very earth beneath you? Those sounds are the work of no wind, my friend, nor that rumbling the doing of any shadows. Those are the calls of Halatali, for now the beasts once kept for the Colosseum lurk here. And these are no gentle beasts broken by the hand of man. No, there are those within that even the might of the immortal flames cannot tame. From the look of you, you must be Satora. I have received word from Nedrick that you might be along. By his recommendation, I grant you leave to enter freely. I only pray that you are able to find your way out. Alright then, we can head in at any time and take on Halatali. I'll be back in just a little bit. I'm gonna go get some friends prepared because you didn't think I was just gonna go in with randos, did you? Now we're going in with a few friends, so let me go get prepared with them and we can get started. Alright, we are ready to go. I have with me my partner playing Thabbata Tazzem and one of our friends playing Adelais Phoenix. There's only 3 of us, not a full 4, so we are going to have one rando, but that's fine. It's not the biggest deal. So let's go ahead and hop into Halatali, and immediately we find a 4th party member. No voice chat with them, unfortunately. Didn't really want to get that set up, honestly. Too much effort, especially for just some side content. Halatali's great, but I didn't want to set up a full voice chat. Alright, so I am playing as Marauder. Thabbata is playing as... Is that Monk? I want to say that's Monk. And Adelais is playing as Scholar, so... Oh, crap. Almost forgot to put on my tank stance. That would have been terrible. Anyways, so Scholar is a healer. Scholar is what comes out of the Arcanist class. Well, kind of. Arcanist is a little bit weird. It gets 2 jobs, and Scholar is the healer job that you get from it. Meanwhile, Monk is the job that comes from Pugilist. So once Pugilist hits level 30, you become a Monk. I meant to go for the attack buff. Oh well. Alright, since we are in multiplayer, I am trying to focus a little bit on playing competently. Because I don't want the rando to be annoyed with me. Even if it is 3 out of the 4 of us are in a party together. Alright. In big multiplayer dungeons, usually the strategy is going to be you do just big pulls, lots of enemies, and you just go to town. Gotta pay attention to make sure all of the enemies are on me and none are attacking my allies. Adelais will keep us up. Thabbata and the rando Leonidas will keep the enemies dead. Also, the Heckler imps are actually on our Twin Adder hunting log, so got that cleared out. So hopefully, once we can clear all these enemies out of here, I see what they meant about the Immortal Flames aren't really able to tame all of the beasties in here. A lot of these aren't really tameable. Hopefully, once we've cleared the story out, the Immortal Flames will be able to properly restore this place into the training arena it once was. Alright, first boss of Halatali. We've got the Fire Main here who's going to continuously cause flames to be summoned. Where are they? They're somewhere around here. Alright, well at some point it's going to start drawing in some flames. I see them on the enemy bar. Lots of Demantises getting summoned. Just don't see where they're at. But they're going to make their way towards the middle, hop into the central flame. And every time they hop in, they're going to do damage to the entire party. But we can get through the Fire Main quick enough that it's really not a big deal. And I am, yes, realizing that I did not eat food. Oh well, it's not a big deal. You don't really get experience from regular enemies in dungeons anyway, you only get it from the bosses. Alright, Fire Main is down. Let's go ahead and grab some loot from the treasure coffer. Yeah, I'll need that. The rules for loot in dungeons, in multiplayer dungeons. If you are playing as a class that can use a bit of loot, you can click Need, which will roll a number from 1 to 99. If you are playing as any other class that can't use that equipment, you can only roll Greed or Pass. If you pass, then, well, you straight up just say you don't want the item at all, don't give it to you. If you click Need, you're given the high priority. Between everyone who rolls Need, whoever has the highest roll from 1 to 99, which is done automatically, will get the loot. Okay, we're good. Need to pull 5 chain winches in this area in order to get all the way through. I believe it's to open up a gate ahead. Where are you going, Adelais? Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna bring the lightning sprites with me. There you are. Anyways, as I was saying, people who roll Need are given the priority. If no one rolls Need, then whoever rolls Greed will be given next priority. And if everyone rolls Pass, then the item is simply abandoned. Alright, I should probably start trying to do bigger pulls. Just don't want to get overwhelmed, especially since we are still early game and our gear isn't exactly the best gear in the world. Okay. Typically, if a tank grabs aggro on enemies and then just runs ahead, as long as they try to keep the aggro up by hitting them every once in a while, the enemies will just keep following, and that'll enable you to bring pretty big pulls of enemies. Okay, we've got another chain winch right there. And that gives a treasure coffer. Don't mind if I do. Alright, a few more of these mantises, and a serpent. It's good to see that so many of our targets for the Grand Company hunting log are in this area. Gonna make that hunting log a lot easier. Okay, another chain winch over here. Hopefully we haven't missed any yet. I've been trying to keep an eye out, but there's always a possibility I ran right past one. Ooh, Doctore's Grimoire for Arcanist. I will gladly take that. And here's the final winch. Ah, perfect. Oh, perfect. Big pull, just what I was hoping for. Okay, looks like I got them all on me. And here's the risk of a big pull. You can see I keep getting pretty close to dead, but I'm surviving. Good healers will be able to keep you through a big pull without you dying. The best healers can't get you through every pull without dying, so don't overdo it. Pay attention to your own limits and the limits of your healer, and you should be fine. Shoot. Wasn't through here next? I always get lost at this particular point. I believe we want to head back a little bit and through this gate. Alright, slow down a little bit so they can catch up. And we should be good. Coming down here, this enemy. I feel like this fight has been reworked since the last time I played, but we'll find out. Thunderclap Gleaver. So this thing's big gimmick is we're in a big pool of water. Its name is Thunderclap. What do you think is gonna happen? Yeah, the water's gonna get charged with electricity, and that's just not great for us. Don't stand in the electric water, or we're gonna die. Or at least take a lot of damage. Alright, if we can get rid of all the lightning sprites, the water should restore to normal, and we can go back to fighting Thunderclap. Yeah, let me see if I can lure you in. Just a little bit closer to the edge so it's safer to get back. Once Thunderclap goes back to trying to electrocute the water, it will flee back to the middle like that. So it's not like we can just hold it on the edge and fight it even while the lightning sprites are attacking us. But at the very least, pulling it closer to the edge. What are you doing, Thabbata? Are you trying to just go for them yourself? Fair enough, but geez, that is ballsy. That is risky. But yeah, at the very least, pulling Thunderclap near the edge will make it so that when it goes to turn everything into electricity, we already have one, so I can pass. And do not have one, so I can need. But yeah, pulling it towards the edge means that once it does try to turn everything into electricity, you have much less distance to actually get out of the water and protect yourself. Alright, we're on the other side of that door now that we ran into earlier. Halatali is basically just a series of rooms with doors separating them. and then you have to take a detour to fight a mini-boss, which gives you a teleporter to the other side of the door, is basically how the entire structure of this dungeon works. Okay, so all that's left now is the boss. Typically dungeons are divided up into 2 mini-bosses and a regular boss. This holds true for the story dungeons as well, so it's possible I've already mentioned this. But it is worth covering again. Especially since this is our first time doing multiplayer dungeons. And sounds like we have our limit break ready. Since we're actually playing in a party, I get to let my party members use it and not worry about how it gets used. Okay, we'll have to agree to that. And looks like we're heading through this door. Everything's clear, we're good. Let's head through the Ludus door. And we have mapped the realm, which means the boss is just ahead. Alright, Tangata, let's get started on you. Tangata has a few gimmicks we're going to want to watch out for, and it'll be easier to explain them as they happen. First gimmick is this. Going to toss out a giant ring of fire, and we can't actually attack Tangata at all until the fire is dispelled. Okay, so hang on, crap. I believe we dispelled the fire by killing all of the fire sprites. I got disoriented. Apologies, it's been a while since I actually did Halatali, so I'm remembering the mechanics as we go. Yeah, destroying all the fire sprites dispels the fire and leaves Tangata vulnerable again. The flames, the Damantises, will just cause AoE damage like they did in the previous boss where they showed up, which was the one in the Hall of the Cesti. The first mini-boss we fought. Alright, anyone want to use their limit break? No, it's not happening today. Alright then. Awesome. Once you have finished a duty, you can send out a player commendation to whoever you think did a good job. And, of course, we have our typical loots. I'll go ahead and take that for Rogue, and might as well take that as well. Alright, and that clears Halatali. Thank you so much to the both of you, Adelais and Thabbata, for helping me get through that. In the future, we're going to probably look into getting a 4th person, and I want to look into if we can get voice chat set up. It'll just be much easier to get through the harder content in particular with voice chat set up, so I'll be looking into that. But for now, our first multiplayer dungeon is out of the way, so I will go ahead and see everyone next time as we return to our investigations of the Sylph.